Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Shakin Hands. I'm your host, Jack Moran. You can find me on Instagram at Blue Collar Kid. That is Blue Collar KEHD. Today on the episode, we have Allen Awali, the founder of Cedar Gold Group.
Yep.
How are we doing today?
Doing good. How are you doing, Jack?
Doing well. So the point of this podcast that I described to you before is kind of to hear the stories of successful entrepreneurs who are out there doing it and hopefully inspire other people to take the leap into entrepreneurship. So give us a little background on like where you're at right now. Like what are you doing? Where your business ventures at right now?
Yeah, Cedar Gold Group. Fairly new. I built the company. I started building it in October of 2023, really. Got it to a point where it's running, CRM's built, backend's built, website's built. We really launched in, I would say, January. And then since then, I mean, the trajectory has just been moving up, every month, increasing in revenue, growing the team. We're about 6 months old now. But the good part about it is I've been in the industry for quite some time. So I'm not a beginner. So in terms of structure in the company, it's just like probably any other gold and silver company right now. So our operations are great, running smoothly.
What do you guys offer? Like what are the services that you guys offer?
So primarily gold and IRAs. So we help people convert their retirement funds, 401ks, IRAs, 403bs, TSPs into self-directed precious metals IRAs. It's a tax-free, penalty-free rollover. Gets people off the dollar, out of the stock market if they don't like the stock market, into hard physical funds, or alternatively, if you want to just buy gold with cash, people do that with us too all the time. So anybody that's interested in gold, silver, platinum, palladium, we help them facilitate their orders.
What are the advantages to gold as opposed to the dollar?
Well, it has an inverse relationship with the dollar. So as more money gets printed, the price of gold goes up inherently, right? If you just look, even during COVID, right, in 2020, when the government passed those stimulus packages and added however many trillion they did to the economy, you saw gold instantly, boom, spiked up. You know what I mean? So it quite literally has an inverse relationship to the buying power of the dollar.
What do you think about the dollar? Do you think it's...
Oh, man. Listen, when you have Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen going out on TV and telling the American public, I'm prepared to take America to 50 trillion in debt, people should start, biting their nails a little bit and getting worried.
It's all good. She'll just redefine recession again.
Yeah, exactly. The politicians in the White House have proved time and time again, they really don't care about us common folk. At all. They live in an alternate universe, so yeah.
So was this your first business? Was this your intro into entrepreneurship?
So it's not my first business. It's my first business. I've taken it seriously, as in like building, a team. We're at about 11 people now. Before that, I would say I have a apparel line called Bender, BNDR, more focused for electronic music artists, that scene. It taught me the fundamentals of business. How do I get an LLC? How do I, create a website? How do I do everything? It taught me how to be a self-starter. Taking the experience from that business, using what I knew from that, bringing it onto Cedar. By the time I wanted to start Cedar, I knew everything I had to know about, starting a business, getting a bank account, operating agreements, so on and so forth.
So what was the story or why did you become an entrepreneur? Why aren't you working a 9 to 5 like most people?
Yeah, honestly, I think it stems from my family. Growing up, my dad was always entrepreneur, right? He worked in the car dealership, when I was younger. After that, he ventured out, opened up a restaurant. He had an auto body repair shop. He had a used car lot. Always, like throughout growing up, I saw my dad
just hustling.
You know what I mean? There was one point in our lives where we had 2 Porsches and a Mercedes-Benz in the driveway, and I was like, whoa. Obviously good times didn't last forever.
Yeah, there's ups and downs.
Ups and downs. But I took that as, being a kid, and I saw that and I was like, well, I want that. You know what I mean? So, I figured, why not give it a shot? And, my parents will vouch for me. Like I don't like listening to like people, you know what I mean? I really rather just not have a boss. Cause I do it better on myself. You know what I mean?
We're unemployable.
Yeah, I'm unemployable. I literally, it's hard. Every job that I've had, I mean, I've probably been there for 2 years max. Done great at the job. It's not that I was doing bad or anything.
Just gets mundane.
It's just, you know what I mean? It's not that I was lazy. I was a hustler. My last job, I was driving an hour and a half each way to work and back. No complaining either. Like I was happy to do it, just to make money. But
you're just gonna get more return if you're doing the work anyway, doing it for yourself.
well, yeah. I mean, imagine this. You see the situation. You realize that you can do it better and more efficiently and cheaper. You know what I mean? And then you think to yourself, like, what's you have to break it down in your head. What's really holding you back? And then when I broke it down, I realized nothing really but myself. Any human can go and learn anything if they want to,
Right.
if they have the will to learn. Yeah, that's, what made me want to become an entrepreneur, really just get out there and do it.
So then what's the story of how you got involved in the gold and silver business?
Yeah. So interesting story. I went to school for music. Actually, went to school for producing music and wanted to be a DJ. I still dabble around and make music. Excuse me. And it's really fun for pastime, but it came a certain point where my parents came up to me and they were like, you have to make money, kid. You know what I mean? You have to earn a living.
The classic conversation.
Yeah. And then I was like, 20, 21 at that point, making no money, no real job. And I saw my friends leveling up and I was like, oh, crap. Like, my friend's making $100K a year now. And I'm sitting here like living with my parents, like, just being a schmuck. So got a job washing cars for one of the dealerships that my dad worked at. From there, became a salesman at the car dealership. After that, did that for a while. I hate car sales. I'll never go back. I was like, all right, I like sales. I like the idea of sales, but I don't want to work in cars anymore. So I applied to a place on Indeed, precious metals sales. I was like, all right, cool. It was an office job, Monday through Friday. I was like, awesome. Yeah, I can go party on the weekends. You know what I mean? But I did really good. I excelled my first year. I mean, I made 6 figures in the industry. I realized that there was something there. First place I was at, they kind of held me back. They didn't want you to learn more to progress into a senior position.
Right.
So I was like, all right.
I don't want you to become a competitor.
Exactly. So I was like, that's fine. I had made a ton of money there. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go, venture off. I went to Mexico for a couple of weeks. I went to Europe for like 3 weeks, got my mind straight. I quit that place and I went to a different firm and that's when they gave me the opportunity to actually become a closer. Actually become a senior position. And that's when I really, learned the ins and outs of the industry. That place, I mean, if it was ran correctly and ran properly, I probably would have still been working there. Unfortunately, sometimes the good times don't last as long as you want them to. But it gave me, the opportunity and it pushed me to just be like, you know what? I know how to do it. There's nothing holding me back. Essentially, I'm a broker, so I don't really need that much startup cost. Just go out and do it. You know what I mean? So I did it.
And so you talked about before when you were doing the apparel company, you learned the fundamentals of business that you've brought into this business. Like, what are those fundamentals?
First thing is, finding someone good that you want to work with. Now, I'm a firm believer in building a team. I think having a team is super valuable. It's really, really rare that you'll find someone crushing it 100% by themselves. You know what I mean? You need a good team. You need multiple brains. So, God bless his soul. My first partner, Dean, taught me. I mean, he's this wasn't his first business. He has a sneaker store. He has a bunch of other businesses. So he helped me a lot, actually, just learning the basics of, how to do all the back end licensing, legal stuff with everything. And then from there on, it kind of just propelled me. I just became a Reddit nerd, going through Reddit, learning everything I can learn about business. What is QuickBooks, building CRMs, learning how to use Shopify. So now it's like just from that little apparel brand, it kind of like catapulted me into wanting to learn about a million different things. I mean, now if, someone asked me, hey, Allen, can you set up a dialing system for my telemarketing company with a landing page and X, Y, and Z? I'd be like, yeah, sure. Give me an hour. It'll be done.
So how do you bring together a good team? That's like one of the hardest things that I've dealt with is like finding good talent, inspiring people to jump on board with your vision.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's hard. And one thing that I'm still learning myself is how to become a leader and not a boss, because nobody wants to be bossed around. Everybody wants to be led. You know what I mean? So changing your approach from being more bossy to more friendly. If someone's messing up, you don't just yell at them and take your anger out on them, right? There's a way to say it, there's a way to do it, and there's a way to make someone better instead of, essentially just making them starting to hate you. You know what I mean? You're essentially like rehabbing their brain into thinking the way you want them to think. It's all, listen, sales doesn't just apply to you selling a product. Sales is how you present a solution to someone's problem. You know what I mean? If someone's problem is they keep, messing up on the phone, you have to sell them the solution and make them believe that your solution is going to fix their problem. So they start fixing their own problem. You know what I mean? And that's what being a good leader is about. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What are the, what's the biggest aha that you've taken away in your journey as an entrepreneur?
The biggest aha I would say is nobody is coming to save you. You know what I mean?
Heard that, brother.
There is no one coming to save you. If you decide that you decide the W-2 is not for you no more, well, buddy, you better start hustling and bustling because
buckle up.
There is no paycheck coming the next week if you're not working. You make your own paychecks, when you're an entrepreneur. I've gone 2 months without getting paid. When I first started the business, I quit my old job in October, started working on this one. It was October, November, January, February, and then finally this money starts rolling in and I'm like, whew, you know what I mean? I was down to my last $20, walk into the store. I was like, all right, I can get some turkey meat, some bread, some cheese. I refreshed my bank account. I'm like, whoa, all right, nice. I'm getting a sub.
Well, how do you get through those moments of adversity when it's, everything's working against you, your mind's starting to tell you to go back to the comfort and makes you want to turn back to the comfortable 9 to 5. How do you get through those?
It's hard, man. It's not for the weak-minded or, somebody with no will. A lot of the time, you're going to fail. There is no question about it. If you just go out the gates and you're successful, congratulations.
You hit the lottery.
You're
the lucky sperm cell.
Yeah, you're 1 in a million, my friend. You're going to fail and you just have to keep on pushing forward. I've had many people tell me what the hell are you doing? I've had family members look at me like I'm the fucking black sheep, loser of the family. What is he doing? He has no idea what he's doing.
Look at me now.
Yeah, look at me now. Exactly. It's just you just have to racehorses, they have blinders on, right? So they can only see straight, right?
Great metaphor.
You know what I mean? You can't look left and right because then you're going to start getting distracted. So you have to keep the blinders on and you have to just keep looking forward to that end goal. And that's what I did. I moved out to Miami with $100 left in my name. I was living at my buddy's apartment on an air mattress for a couple months. When we started the company, we still hadn't gotten paid. My family knew that too. They were like, dude, you're crazy. I had to borrow money from my dad at one point. And then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, I'm refreshing the bank account and I'm sending screenshots to my dad. I'm like, look. Immediately when I first got money, I paid my dad back. I got an apartment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Covered the essentials.
Covered the essentials, and then after that, really just honing in and mastering the craft as an entrepreneur, bettering myself every day. I mean, you'll see right there are some sales books right there that I try to read some pages a night. And really just build on top of that. Now I have this foundation where I can just build.
What do you do? Like, what's your routine to develop yourself as an entrepreneur and support that productivity?
Learn as much as you humanly possibly can. I'm not the world's biggest, like I'm not like, Ty Lopez, read a book a day. You know what I mean? But what I do like doing is, I'll read maybe a couple pages. I love watching entrepreneurial videos. I love Reddit. Reddit's a great asset for, a lot of young entrepreneurs.
Are there any specific forums or threads that are?
I honestly no, because of what I do is I'll type in, XYZ, how to do XYZ Reddit. You know what I mean? I'll put that in Google, and then I'll just go down the Google search results, and then I'll enter the Reddit vortex for like a couple hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't have an ego. At the minute you have an ego and think you know it all about anything in business or life, you've shot yourself in the foot. You've fucked up right there, because at that point in time, you just limited yourself from learning something. You know what I mean? The minute you think you know it all. So I think taking ego out of the equation and realizing that nobody's the best at anything is just gonna help you propel up. You know what I mean?
So where do you focus like the majority of your time within the business? What do you think gets you the biggest return?
It's tough. We're not huge yet where I can focus completely on just the growing aspect of the business. I'm kind of I'm like an octopus. I have like 8 hands. I'm doing 8 different things. Ideally, in Allen's perfect world, I have a sales team crushing the sales. I'm focused on growing the business, and that's either hiring people, marketing moves, content creation.
So you're more operational?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm operational. I'm also, probably one of the highest closing ratios, if not the highest closing ratio in the company. So I'm closing all the deals, doing operations, back end accounting. I'm doing as of now, but we're talking to an accounting firm, so that'll be taken care of soon.
Yeah.
So I'm doing everything. All of my hands are everywhere. Ideally, I'd like to focus on the growing aspect of the company. How do I, get us to the next level? But that'll come soon. And I have no problem doing what I do right now. It's fun to me. You know what I mean? It's like my baby. It's like my little project.
Yeah. If you had $1 million right now, guilt-free capital, what would you do with it?
Guilt-free capital, $1 million. Oh man.
How would you deploy it?
I would get an office, get a sales team in office. I'm a firm believer in the office.
Yeah.
I love the office. Office is where everyone shoots the shit, but you get your work done, and you can train people the way you want to train them. Because if they're not in office with you, they'll start to veer off into the unknown, and you don't 100%. Know what they're doing. So in office, you can build a killer sales team. So I would do that. Pump marketing dollars, and I'd buy a Lambo. No, I'm just kidding. No, pump marketing dollars, and that's pretty much it. I mean, our industry that we're in, it's
sales is everything.
Sales, marketing, sales. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much it. Just grow it from there. Not reinventing the wheel. A lot of similar companies doing what we're doing, and I guess nobody's doing it. I guess nobody my age is really taking the leap to do it. So I was like, screw it, why not?
How do you stand out in a competitive market?
Our pricing, super transparent. We're probably, if not the cheapest, one of the cheapest. A lot of places do, they charge like hidden markups and fees and whatever the heck may be, and their back end. Or another thing that we don't do, which a lot of companies do, is with retirement accounts, they have a holding period, 3 to 5 years, depending on the company. We were like, screw that. We don't need that at all, completely. Another thing that we're doing is we're building an e-commerce section to the company. It's not going to be called Cedar Gold Group. It'll be called something differently, but Cedar Gold will be the parent company. So essentially, it's just going to become an e-commerce website where you can decide, hey, I want to invest $100 a month in gold or silver, and you can either A, get that shipped to your doorstep as soon as you hit a certain threshold, or B, we'll store it in one of our safes for you, and then that's how it will operate. And eventually, something that we're going to work on too is having some sort of a precious metals spend card. So you can have your money tied to the value of
That's
gold
cool.
or silver, and then you can transact with it. So it's a protection against inflation, while still having the spending power. You're not going to have to chip off a piece of silver and give it to someone. You know what I mean?
What are you chasing after? How do you define success? What is your definition of success?
Yeah. Just hanging out and not doing anything, it gets pretty boring after a while. So for me to say I want to just be retired on a beach somewhere in Ibiza and drinking margaritas all day, a lot of people will say that that's like what they want to do, but it doesn't sound like it's fun. It sounds cool, but
It's repetitive.
How much you can do that? So for me, I don't want to just stop at precious metals. I want to really get this up and running, build it, make it something successful, boom, onto the next project. It's honestly like it's a game almost, right? Life is like kind of a game. Like how can you beat life? You know what I mean? Like you do one thing, you crush it, successful, boom, either exit or keep it cash flowing. All right, what's my passion project? How can I make my passion project turn into something for me? So yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's like Legos almost. You just finish building something. All right, great. On to the next thing. You know what I mean?
So you love the process.
Oh, I love it.
Not externally motivated, more like intrinsically motivated, it sounds like.
Yeah, totally. I mean, obviously everybody wants the Lambo, everybody wants the Ferrari. I mean, honestly, I don't need much. I don't require much to live. I'm a pretty simple person. As long as I can eat and sleep somewhere and get around and go to the beach, I'm happy. Not materialistic really at all. Although I do want a Porsche eventually. A Porsche 911, that's in the books. That's going to happen soon. That's pretty much it. That's how I define success. Just like being able to accomplish something and successfully do it and execute it.
And what's one thing you know now that you wish you knew when you embarked on this journey?
Yeah, that's a good question. What's one thing I knew now? Probably understanding like taxes a little bit better.
Me too. I went through the ringer on accountants.
Yeah. That's probably it. Because in the beginning, I mean, the last couple of years, when you have W-2 income and 1099 income,
makes it easy.
No, man. Well, yeah, it's easy if it's your straight W-2.
Yeah.
But then you throw in that 1099 in there, and you're like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Now I owe $20K that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Already spent it.
Yeah, especially if you're not earning your 1099 through an LLC or something. You're just like you're claiming it yourself. Then you can get into a whole whirlwind of problems. Oops.
Good advice. Yeah, I've been there for sure. I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
Where can people like find you if they are interested in buying gold? Like, is there anything you want to plug, and don't limit it to just the gold company? Throw in whatever you want.
Yeah. www.cedargoldgroup.com. We have forms on there. Just sign up, hit us up, give us a call, free consultation. And you can email at allen@cedargoldgroup.com. Feel free to reach out whenever you want. We're here for you.
What about your Instagram? You want to throw that out?
Yeah, Instagram at Allen Awali. Twitter, same thing. Although I should probably delete my Twitter.
Still got those high school tweets in there.
Man.
Like
Yeah,
the
totally.
underground.
Yeah, Instagram at Allen Awali. Find me there. Hit me up.
What are some last comments that you got for entrepreneurs?
If it gets hard and it gets tough and you're getting hungry, just keep pushing. I mean, sometimes you're going to have to drive Uber Eats for, a month or two to just make some money to put it on the side. But if you stay focused and you stay on the path and, you keep the blinders on, you'll end up making it.
Fantastic. All right. Well, that concludes episode 10 of Shakin' Hands. I'm your host, Jack Moran. You can find me on Instagram at Blue Collar Kid. That is Blue Collar KEHD. If you have any recommendations for guests or questions you want to ask, please don't hesitate to reach out. But anyway, stay tuned for some more interesting conversations. Thanks, guys.